All right, let's dive into some network security. What we have here is a FortiGate Firewall. And right now, yeah, it's pretty much just a box. But by the time we're done here, we're going to transform this thing step by step into a seriously powerful digital fortress for your whole network. So yeah, that's the big question, right? How do you take this piece of hardware and actually turn it into a smart active defender for your network? Well, that's exactly the journey we're on today. We're going to cover every single essential step. Okay, so first things first, like any good project, you've got to know your tools. So let's start by getting to know our guardian, the FortiGate Firewall. Now, the key phrase you're going to hear a lot is next generation. And what that really means is this isn't just some simple gatekeeper that blocks things based on an address. No, a FortiGate is an inspector. It literally looks inside the data packets, using tools like antivirus and web filtering to hunt for threats and enforce the security rules you set up. All right, introductions are over. Time to get our hands dirty. Next up, we are laying the foundation. These are the first crucial steps to get our fortress online and ready for its walls and its rules. So this whole foundational setup really comes down to three key steps. First, we've got the initial login to actually take control of the device. Then we're going to define its gates, the interfaces that connect to all the different parts of our network. And finally, we'll draw the map. We're going to set a route so our network actually knows how to get out to the internet. Getting in for the first time is pretty simple. You just connect your computer to port 1 and point your browser to 192.168.1.99. The username is admin, and this is super important, the password is nothing. It's blank. So your very first move, before you do anything else, is just set a strong password. Seriously, leaving it blank is like building a fortress and then just leaving the front door wide open. Okay, next up, we're defining our interfaces. And you should really think of these as the different gates of our fortress. The WAN, that's the main gate out to the wild west of the internet. The LAN is the gate for your trusted internal folks, your users and devices. And the DMZ, well, that's kind of a special, more exposed gate for things like public web servers. By giving each one a role, we start to take control of exactly how traffic is allowed to move around. So we've got our gates defined, but now we need a map. And that's exactly what a static route does. When we create this default route, that's what all those zeros mean, we're basically telling the FortiGate, hey, if you don't have a specific instruction for where a piece of traffic needs to go, just send it out through the main WAN gate to the internet. It's like the universal guide for all outbound traffic. All right, our foundation is solid. Now it's time to give our guardian its marching orders. In this section, we're going to write the rules. These are the policies that actually teach the firewall how to think and what to do with all the traffic it sees. Let's build our very first and probably most essential rule, letting our internal users get to the internet. Think of it like you're building a logical sentence for the firewall. It goes like this. If traffic is coming in from our trusted LAN, and it's going out to the internet, and it's from any device going to any website, then the action is to accept it. And that last piece, enabling NAT, that's the magic that lets all your internal devices share one single public IP address. Okay, hold on. Before we write a single other rule, we have to talk about the absolute golden rule of firewall management. This is maybe the most important concept to get right. The FortiGate processes policies from the top down. The second it finds a rule that matches the traffic, it applies that rule, and then it stops. It doesn't even look at the rules below it. Getting this order right is, well, it's everything. And this right here shows you exactly why that golden rule is so critical. Look at the left, the correct order. First, we have a rule to specifically block badsite.com. Then, underneath that, we have a rule to allow all other web traffic. That works perfectly. But now look at the right. If that general allow all rule is on top, any traffic going to badsite.com hits that rule first, gets approved, and the firewall never even sees the rule that was supposed to block it. Your specific rules absolutely must come before your general ones. Always. Okay, so we've built the walls and we've written the basic rule book. Now it's time to add the real intelligence. This is the step that takes our setup from just a basic firewall and turns it into a true next-generation guardian. And we add that intelligence by applying these things called security profiles directly to the firewall policy we just made. You can think of it like equipping our guardian with a whole suite of advanced gear. When we attach these, our allow rule doesn't just let traffic through anymore. Oh no, it now actively scans that traffic for viruses, it blocks risky applications, it filters out malicious websites, and it watches for attack patterns with the IPS. This is what proactive defense actually looks like. All right, our fortress is built, the rules are in place, and our guardian is armed to the teeth with intelligence. There's just one last crucial step. We gotta check our work. We need to verify that this whole thing actually works. You know, in the world of network admins, this simple command is the universal "is this thing on" test. By pinging Google's public DNS server at 8.8.8 from a computer inside your network, you can get a super quick confirmation that your basic policy is working and you've got a clear path to the internet. It's the fastest, most effective first check you can do. But for a much deeper look, you're going to want to head over to the log and report section. Think of this as the command center for your fortress. This is where you can watch traffic flowing in real time, see exactly which policies are being triggered, and confirm that your security profiles are actually catching threats. This is where you get the proof that your fortress is doing its job. And there you have it. We went from a simple box to a fully functioning digital fortress. Your first and most critical line of defense is now up and running. But as we all know, cybersecurity is never a set it and forget it kind of deal. So the real question is, in a world where the threats are changing every single day, what's your next move going to be?